Hello, unaltered stand names. Fancy meeting you here. That was weird, but okay. What's going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it's time to talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable, episode 33. July 15th, Thursday, I think this was part 3, and then at the end of this episode, you see there's going to be a 4th part, so holy shit. I think this is the first 4-parter JoJo has ever had, so even counting Stardust Crusaders, so that's kind of crazy. But there is a lot of stand users, and I think they are taking probably a couple of arcs and like putting them together to get through it faster, while still covering all of the material. I mean, I can't say for sure if they're covering all the material because I'm not caught up on the manga, but still, I would assume that's what they're doing. And yeah, like I said before, speaking of the stand users, they didn't have unaltered names, which is really interesting. Last week, Enigma was called something different. I didn't even know it was called Enigma, but I looked that up later. I was like, oh, that's the real stand name, okay. And then in this episode, it was called Enigma, and I was like, okay, that's weird. And they said Cheap Trick, and they called it Highway Star, and maybe they probably called it Crazy Diamond too, and that just really surprised me. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that too much. It is cool to see the actual names translated properly. Don't know why that's all of a sudden happening, but it's cool, I guess, but not really that big of a deal, not really that relevant to the episode itself. What is relevant to the episode, and what actually sort of surprised me, even more so than the name changing, is the fact that a character I thought would never even appear again, the Highway Star dude, I think his name was Yuya, whatever his last name is. I'm just going to say Highway Star because that's cooler. The Highway Star dude actually is like the main starring dude in this episode, sort of. I mean, it's Josuke in the beginning with the gun, and he catches the bullet, and they interact more, and they talk. But then it goes to this guy, and I wasn't really sure, like, is this guy actually going to be the guy to help defeat Enigma? And it turns out he was. Because when he said, take me to, like, the Grand Morio Hotel, I was like, oh, it's going to be Jotaro. Jotaro's going to show absolutely no fear because he's fucking Jotaro, and then the dude's going to get his ass kicked. But no, he actually faces off against Highway Star. And I like the caution that he takes. I like him using the sense of smell and everything, and the paper shredder, and all the elaborate planning that Enigma went through. All that stuff is the crazy shit you'd expect from JoJo, and it's absurd. And then Josuke at the end was a total fucking badass, intimidating the shit out of him, getting him scared, and then beating the shit out of him and turning him into a book, which is horrifying. I mean, Josuke doesn't kill his opponents, like, ever, I'm pretty sure. But the way he leaves some of them, like, merging the dude with the rock and turning this dude into a book, that's, like, worse than killing them. That's, like, fucked up beyond belief. But it's still really, really cool at the same time. So, and I love how they always add those little tidbits of lore to the world of Morio. Like, you have the face rock thing, the Angelo Stone, and now there's this book you can like go to the library and hear voices out of it, and there's that one rock that Koichi turned bouncy so you can like bounce on it or whatever. I like how there's like lore to the town and like the alleyway where you can meet the ghost girl. I really like that. I think that's a really, really coal touch to this this part of JoJo. One of my favorite little touches to the world building, I guess you could say. And I guess I should talk about the Cheap Trick part of the story with Rohan. Rohan's part, I mean, he danced weird when he was trying to shake him off. That was interesting, but other than that, not really too much happens. He just sort of tells him to burn the picture over and over. He finally sees the dude's back. It opens up like a door. The dude dies. What I do like here, though, is we do get some nods, not really nods to Stardust Crusaders, but some continuity ties with Stardust Crusaders. We have a stand that acts independently of its stand user, like Anubis, even though Anubis' stand user died. And there's also the fact that he couldn't handle having a stand very similar to Holly. I believe her name was Holly, Jotaro's mother. So some cool continuity nods there. If that was intentional, I don't know, because Araki has a bad memory, but still. And I like the concept of this thing being on your back whispering to you. That's very, very creepy. It's not the scariest design for a stand. It's not that, like, intimidating or creepy looking. It's a little creepy looking, but the idea of it just being over your shoulder, on your back, and it talks to you, I think that's really, really creepy, really, really chilling. And I thought they portrayed that pretty well. And it's telling him to burn the picture, and he's trying to ignore it, and he's trying to figure out which picture is Kira, because obviously if he needs to burn the pictures, that means that there's obviously evidence there. And he ends up calling Koichi towards the end of the episode. I think pretty much at the end of the episode, he's calling Koichi. Also at the end of the episode, we had a Pepsi sponsor. That was fucking random, but okay. That's really all there is to his part of the story, though, to be honest. I like the little continuity nods to Stardust. I thought it was really creepy and chilling having that thing right over his shoulder. A lot of Rohan focus lately, which is cool, I guess. He's pretty much one of the main characters at this point. And it's going to be cool to see how Koichi ties in with this. I mean, can he just use, like, Act 3 and just freeze this thing and, like, slam it into the ground and keep it away from his back? Or will it just teleport to his back? Definitely curious to see what happens in part 4 of this really long, crazy fucking stand user battle royale that we have going on here. But it's really, really cool, really, really entertaining. And I'm glad I didn't read the manga for this stuff because it's really, really cool seeing the cliffhangers. That cliffhanger with the paper in the last episode was fucked up, but it was still cool nonetheless. So, yeah, I'm going to give this episode... I thought having it focused on a side character was interesting. He's not a character I care about, but because Koichi and Josuke were at stake, you're still invested in what he's doing, even if you don't care about him. So I thought they played that very smart as well, or Rocky played that smart, I suppose. Well, then again, there is editor input, so I'll just say they. They played it well in that case. And yeah, I'm going to give this episode a solid 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a very good to great episode of Jojo. I thought it was well-paced, well-animated. Not the most phenomenal animation or anything, but it looked good. So yeah, paced well, animated well. Pretty good story progression, so we have another stand user defeated and another stand user actually attacking, because before it was like, I want to see your back, and now he's actually attacking him. So there is story progression there as well. Actually, even Jotaro is starting to like make some moves when it comes to trying to capture Kira, so again, more story progression there as well. Yeah, it's just a really good to great episode of JoJo, 8.5 out of 10. But what did you guys think of this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? You go ahead and tell me in the comments section below. You can also follow me on Instagram or add me on PSN. I'm petplatypus on both. You can also follow me on Twitter at DAJFilms. Give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already or if you like what you've seen here. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.